Hey, what's going on? My name is Coach Lee Hopkins. Our pronouns are he, him, his, and you're listening to the Patterns of Possibility podcast. Welcome. This is the podcast for late identified autistic adults who want real relationships without fake masks. Let's talk connection, clarity, and showing up as your authentic self. Now, today we're going to do something a little bit different because today's my birthday. I'm celebrating my birthday here on this podcast. And today is also the Transgender Day of Visibility. And I am also trans. So those 2 days, this one day mean two special things to me. So I'm going to talk about this and visibility. If you are someone who is used to hiding themselves, then this episode is for you. I'm also going to talk about my birthday. Are you ready? Let's go. So let's talk about visibility. What is visibility to you? Visibility can be different for each person. Everybody has some definitions for their experiences that they have, and I just want to square up what my definition for visibility is. Visibility, although it is meant to be seen, like you're seen, but visibility, it is experienced with one of your five senses, at least one of your five senses. So we got sight, sound, taste, touch, smell. One of those senses is like from another person that lets you know that, you exist, essentially. Visibility, somebody's looking at you, somebody's experiencing you, somebody's hearing you, somebody's touching you. Something like that is visibility to me. So one or all five of them, one or many in between. That's visibility. And so when I think about visibility in any sense, it means to be known, essentially, but not deeply known. Like, people don't have to understand how you think and what you feel to see you, right? They just have to know that you exist in some way, and they verify it through one of their five senses. So that's what I say, visibility. Transgender Day of Visibility. This is the day for it. And this is where we want people to know that we exist. We want people to know that we exist. I'm here. I'm alive. And so are you. I'm in the same reality as you. And I think the underlying piece there is that we don't want you to be afraid and run away. We don't want you to see us and be like, oh my God, it's Bigfoot. And run away somewhere, or even worse, be angry and frustrated and take out all your frustration on this population of people that I belong to. Don't want people to do that. But I do want to be known. I want somebody to know that I exist. And so this day, Transgender Day of Visibility, speaks volumes to me, because even if I wasn't, even before I transitioned, I didn't feel as if I was really known. At least an accurate representation of what I thought I was, or how I thought I was, shown up to other people. I didn't think that was something that people knew. Like, well, they could see me, but they really didn't understand who I was, didn't understand how I felt. And pretty much, I wasn't treated the way that I wanted to be treated. And that's part of the visibility for some people too. It's like, I don't not just want you to see me, I want you to treat me a certain way. I want you to see and know that I exist, and then treat me the way I want to be treated, or not ignored, or not abused, right? And so any population, any person can go through this experience where they feel invisible, like you are not really seen. You are not really heard. You're not really understood. People are going to treat you the way they want to treat you. They're not going to take a moment to understand how you feel. And I know that there are so many groups of categories and people, and I have just this intersection of it in my own life. I have this intersection of it in my own life where I am Black, I am queer, and I am neurodivergent. And so that's just a fun mix of ways people can see me, and they could see any one of those traits. They can see any one of those traits, and they're like, okay, you're autistic, but you're also Black and you're queer, so we don't like you. Or you're Black, but you're also autistic and you're trans, so we don't like you. Like, I've been a part of each subset of those groups and essentially have been dismissed from one of those groups because of the other two things. For example, I went to a barber shop before. It was like, maybe, it must be like 7-8 years ago or something like that, when I had short hair. I went to this barber shop, and I didn't grow up as I was presenting male. Okay, so just so you know that I transitioned, had a deep voice, and had the goatee and all that stuff. And I went to this barbershop, and I've not been in a black barbershop before because I didn't grow up with a parent who took me to one of those barbershops. I didn't have that kind of community. I had to figure it out on my own. And so when I was here in Chicago, I went to this barbershop, and I got this haircut, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it, y'all. I didn't like it. And I was like, well, you know what? I will come back in 2 weeks, and maybe the guy was having an off day or whatever. I will ask for a better haircut. Like, he'll do a better job next time. So I patroned them again. In 2 weeks, I go back to the place, and the barber isn't there. The one that cut my hair that didn't do a great job is not there. Another guy is. And he was like, yeah, come on, I'll line you up. I was like, yes. Best haircut I've ever had. I loved the haircut so much. It was just, I loved it. And I walked out of the shop feeling like, yeah, I made the right decision to come back and give those black people, my community, more of my money. It just makes sense. So I go, and in 2 weeks, I come back because I want to stay fresh and lined up. And the barber who didn't do a great job was there, and the barber who did do a great job was there. And so, not knowing the rules, because I didn't know there were rules to this, I picked the one that made sense to me, the guy who did a great job. And the whole barber shop, you could hear the record scratch. It was like, scratch. Everybody was like, what? How did you, what? And everybody seemed to be mad at me. They were mad. And I was like, I don't understand why people were mad at me. And the dude who cut my hair got into my face, and he was like just kind of mad. What I forget what he said. I think he said like I don't like him because he's an asshole or something like that. I don't exactly remember the words, but I do remember the intense feeling of knowing that I've done something wrong, but I've made the best choice for me. That is getting the guy who touched my hair, and with the Midas touch, it was amazing. Got him to do my hair, cut my hair. And everybody in the barbershop was like, no, that's not the way we do it. I didn't find this out until later. That's not the way we do it. When somebody cuts your hair, you are bound to them forever. I think I learned about this on Blackish. Some Blackish episode where Dre goes and gets his hair cut by this guy who has been cutting his hair for years upon years, and then he's just like messing up his hair, but he was like, I gotta be loyal, and that just makes no sense. But anyway, I applied that to my situation. I was like, oh my god, that's what happened. Essentially, there's a rule in any barbershop, black barbershop, that I had no idea of because I grew up as a cis woman, black woman, didn't go to barbershops, had no idea that was a rule. I transitioned to female to male going into this barbershop, and I'm autistic. So I did the thing that doesn't, like, social rules don't apply to me. Like these regular old social rules that don't make sense don't apply to me. I didn't think about that being a consequence or a problem. I didn't learn the social script for it. So here's a situation where I'm a black person in a black space, but because I didn't get the script as being autistic and trans, I get excluded. I do something in the space that offends somebody. And it just happens over and over and over again. So that goes back with the visibility piece. If you feel like that, if you have experiences like that and you can relate, drop a comment, let me know what's going on in your life. But for real, that was just one. And there's so many intersections that we all carry, we all have. So my attributes that really stick out to me is being black, being trans, and being autistic, right? And in any one of those spaces, I can go into the autistic space, but I'm also a black person, a trans person, and I can't relate to some of those people. I can go into queer spaces, and I cannot relate to some of those people who are in the queer spaces, and because I'm black and I've had these tons of experiences, or I'm autistic and maybe they're not the same kind of autism, the kind of autism that I have. And I say that jokingly to say that, if you met one autistic person, you've met one autistic person. We're all different. And I think people in general are all different. Just because you are black doesn't mean you're going to get along. Just because you're transgender, you're going to get along. Just because you're autistic doesn't mean that you're all going to get along. That doesn't work that way. There's more of the nuances of humanity that really connect us with others. And what I'd like to say is that similar history helps. Like if you grew up in the same kind of neighborhood or same kind of household or same kind of religion, that connects people. Your hobbies, those are things that you do for fun. Those are activities that you actually enjoy. So if you like playing board games or video games or going on long walks, or if you like to meditate or collect crystals or collect something, then that is going to connect you. You'll have a common ground. And then there are your habits. Your habits will transcend your identity. Essentially, who are you and what you do? So if you're a person who likes to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go for a run, that is part of your personality. That's going to give you a lot of ways to connect with other people. If you're a person who gets up at noon, then you're a person who gets up at noon, and you're going to have a whole different life. You're probably staying up later than those people who are getting up at 5 a.m. It's that kind of thing. So these are your history, hobbies, and habits. These things are going to connect you beyond what the other visibility pieces are going to, not for just someone to see you, not someone to just experiences you with one of your five senses, your sight, sound, taste, touch, smell, not just to do that, but if you want something deeper, you want conversation, then you're going to talk about your history, hobbies, and habits so that you can be visible, like truly seen in the way that you might want to be seen. I'd say less visible, not just visible, but more vulnerable. You get closer to people when you start talking about those things that are important and interesting and exciting to you. That's all you have to do is talk about those things. Once again, history, hobbies, and habits. Now, speaking of those things, for my birthday, today's my birthday. And I have been, one of the things that I really enjoy, one of my hobbies, I guess, and my habits, you can roll them up together, is eating ramen. Like, ramen is my safe food, and I've been known to eat it 2 to 3 times a week, maybe not more, actually more than that, up to 6 times a week. I would just eat ramen and go get fancy ramen from these Asian food stores, and I would just try different ones. I love udon and curry ramen and all those. Man, it's just the best. It's best. And there's so many varieties to try. I just kind of get stuck on those things. But for the past 4 months, I had stopped eating ramen as a deprivation experiment. I decided that, I would like to see if there's something else out there in the world that I would like, that I would enjoy. So I'm going to stop eating ramen. And first, it was really hard. I would walk past ramen in the grocery stores, and I would think, I just want to get a pack. Just want to get a pack. And then I went to Gangnam Market, which is this big, awesome place in Chicago where they sell lots of Asian foods and tons of different varieties of ramen, potato chips, and fancy things that you just can't get here in the regular grocery stores in the U.S. So I went there and I was like, oh man, I don't know why I came into the store. I just wanted to punish myself, I guess. But I left without any ramen. Go me. I was tempted. The reason why I'm sharing this with you is because I went those 4 months and I've decided that I'm going to break that 4-month thing and build some anticipation in eating ramen at a fancy place on my birthday. That's my birthday. So that's what I had planned on doing. And I'd reached out to some of the people on LinkedIn because that's where I am most of the time. I reached out to people on LinkedIn and I was like, you got any recommendations for places I can eat in Chicago? And one person gave me this restaurant that was like fire. I looked at the menu. I was like, yes. I am there. I want to get this curry ramen. And as the time of recording this, they also have omurice. Omurice is a fancy style. It's fancy fried rice with an egg on top of it, and the egg is cooked in a certain way. So when you cut into the egg, it will split open, and it's kind of like undercooked, or like it just it's like a sauce that kind of folds over it. Anyway, you have to look up omu rice if you've not seen it. But I've been watching these videos on TikTok for years about how it's created and the technique that goes into it, and I just want to try it. So I came to this. I was just like, I'm confused now about what to do. So I asked people on LinkedIn, like, should I get the umu rice because this restaurant serves it, and I didn't know that this restaurant serves it, but I really want it, or should I stick to my original plan and get the curry ramen that I wanted, that I've waited 4 months for? And it's an interesting place to be in decisions and what I could do. Like, what do I really want? Is it really important for me to, the lesson here, the message that I'm getting to, is it really important for me to stick to exactly what I thought I was going to do? Or can I change things up on a whim? Will I disappoint myself if I don't get the thing that I had planned on doing? Or is it okay to change the plan? Most people said just get both. But really, what I want to get at here is the idea that you can change your plans. You can stick to your plans. Just try something. Make a decision. Let it be. As this relates to vulnerability, if you've been doing the same thing over and over and over again, and you've been not opening up, if you've been afraid to share, you've been just hiding yourself and expecting other people to see you, it's probably not going to work. It hasn't worked for me. It only started to work when I wanted to be open and share with other people. And you may have been hurt by sharing with other people, but that's why we don't share too much too soon. I teach my clients about strategic vulnerability. That is opening up just enough for other people to see who you are so that you can watch for their response, so that you can feel safe. It's really not safe sometimes to be more than visible, to be more than seen. Sometimes when you share your real thoughts and your real feelings, it could get you into some trouble. But if you don't open up, if you don't share, you are going to be lonely and stuck and hurt because you're going to feel like nobody knows you. But nobody knows you because you won't share, right? So if you want help getting out of that cycle of loneliness, I can help you. Spend 30 minutes with me, have a one-on-one conversation, go to patternsofpossibility.com, click on Get Coaching, and I will leave you with at least one actionable step so that you can make an authentic change. All right, let's wrap this up. If you've heard something today that has helped you see yourself in relationships a little differently, then I'd love to hear your thoughts. You can leave a comment here, or you can reach me at patternsofpossibility@gmail.com. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Also, if you could take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe, it really helps more people find these conversations and join our growing community. And speaking of community, if you're looking for a space where you can express yourself and be met with curiosity rather than rejection as a late diagnosed autistic adult, then come visit thepatternsofpossibility.com and find your community there. Learn more about what we're doing. We're connecting with others. You can be yourself and authenticity in this space. Find other people who've had your experiences, who know what you're going through, so you don't have to do this alone. Until next time, take care of your energy. And remember that connection starts when you allow yourself to be seen.